Welcome back to Unlocked. I am so excited today because I have Grayson Chrisley here with me.
Hey, y'all.
I love you. Okay, first off, Grayson is my not so little brother. He is 16 and I'm quite afraid of him. So
Why? Why would you be afraid?
Grayson, because you're like big. You're like the biggest one of all of us, and you're the most good looking out of all of us, which is very unfortunate.
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Also, too, I do want to touch on everyone saw that you got into a car accident because somebody sold photos to a tabloid.
Yeah.
And welcome to our life.
Even though it was that dude's fault.
Grayson, a photo was sold to a tabloid of your truck, obviously completely totaled. But you're okay.
I'm fine.
You're fine. You got a little banged up.
The truck's not fine.
No.
But I'm fine.
The truck's not fine, but you're fine. Thank goodness. Because like we said, it's a truck. It doesn't matter.
I don't know if I'd call it a truck anymore.
No.
That's just nothing.
Yeah, no. It doesn't matter. It's not important. What's important is that you're okay. You had a fun, expensive ride to the hospital via an ambulance. So Dad was in the back of the ambulance with you. And y'all, honestly, I was mortified. I was so afraid because I pulled up and it reminded me of like my car accident. And my heart literally sank. I was in tears.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. Y'all, the whole interstate was shut down for this kid. So
it was really bad.
Making a grand entrance. But thankfully you're okay. Thank goodness. Just wanted to address that because you see all these articles out here.
I know.
Died.
They made it seem like I died. Like it was like Grayson Chrisley like badly injured in a car wreck. And I was like, bro, I'm fine.
Yeah, like you're okay. I ain't gonna lie. I'm shocked that you were okay as you were.
I posted that picture of me in the gym.
Yeah.
You know how many DMs I got? Like, surprised you're not still in the hospital. I'm like, I was there for like 4 hours.
Okay, well, it was, thank goodness. Thank goodness you're okay. And two, I will say, I really don't like the fact that you have social media.
I do.
I don't. Because we went 16 years without you having social media.
I know.
And it was the best thing we could have ever asked for because
I always had like TikTok and Snapchat and stuff like that.
Well, yeah, so TikTok and Snapchat first off. And two, dude, you should really go through your TikTok because some of the things you posted, oh my gosh, so cringe.
I just leave it on there because it keeps the views up. Yeah,
the things that you have posted on TikTok, Grayson, it's literally cringe.
I just don't care enough to take them down. Like I care so little that.
But see, I do love that about you. I love that about you because I feel like you do a good job at not reading tabloids.
The dumbest stuff gets so many views.
Well, I know that.
I posted Dad and Chloe swimming in a pool and I got 16 million views.
Yeah, stuff like that. That's insane.
It's literally just Dad in a pool.
Well, who knows? I don't get it. But you have done a really good job at not looking at any tabloid stuff.
I mean, yeah, because who knows better than what's going on in my life than me? Mm-hmm. Like, some dude, like, with his miserable life writing about somebody else's life.
Exactly. But I love that because I really don't believe you look at it.
No. I don't need to. Because I know what's going on in my life. I don't need to read about it.
Yeah. And two, what you're reading. See, for me, I like.
And I'll read some stuff that is just like, I know. They say they fact checked it.
Yeah.
And I know it's not real. And I'm like, well, you check your facts.
Yeah.
Obviously, your fact checking's not very good.
Your fact checking's not real good. And see, for me, I read everything because I want to call people out on the lies.
I got a bad issue that I respond to DMs.
Yeah, well, you definitely shouldn't be responding to direct messages because those people are just looking to get a rise out of you and they're going to take what you've said.
I responded to the one a couple of days ago that Dad got mad at me for. They said something and I said, buddy, you're 45 commenting on my Instagram. Get a life.
Y'all, I'm not going to lie though. The Grayson had a Finsta He did.
I did.
And people would comment the meanest stuff. I mean, they still do under my photos. And Grayson would like go back at them hard. And I would like have to delete stuff at times because it was that bad. Like, it was bad. But you've done a really good job. I'll say I'm proud of you for not reading stuff and living your life for what you know it is. Because, frankly, we're not allowing a tabloid to govern our life.
Exactly.
Like, we've got each other and we've got God, and that's all we need. So, for that, we're grateful. And 2, what's crazy is some of the people that are going to be watching this podcast have watched you grow up on TV.
I haven't even watched myself grow up on TV.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to touch on, which I find to be so funny, is you've never watched the show.
I've never watched one episode.
And why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't think it's interesting. I don't like it, but apparently people do.
Oh, wow. So this is the most honest Chrisley we've got here. I really don't think that's
people
it.
find me funny, really? I don't even find myself funny.
But that's the thing. I think, too, you were used, like, you grew up on TV. So that was your life. So there was no reason for you to go back and watch it.
I know.
But I do. One of my favorite clips of the show.
What gets on my nerves is some people will see how me and Dad go back and forth and say it's disrespectful. Okay, it's not disrespectful. It's a different relationship.
Yeah.
Like, Dad will say something to me and I'm like, all right, buddy. Like.
And see, but it's not, because when there are levels of disrespect, they're not tolerated.
He gets mad, and even he knows I'm not like being disrespectful.
Yeah, because Grayson, I will say, is probably the most respectful child, but also too, he's the baby. So you get away with a lot more, but it's also not even that you get away with a lot more. I just think it's a difference in time. Like, they can't raise you the exact same way they raised us. Mm-mm. It's a different world that you're living in. There are different things they have to prepare you for.
And y'all, like, sometimes y'all did me an injustice.
What? So now it's our fault?
No, just like some of the stuff y'all did, like, I don't do. So Dad assumes I'm doing it.
Like what?
Like, I asked to go to the gym, and Dad, like, assumes I'm going to be out here, like, doing stuff. Like,
yeah, that
sneaking out and stuff. I'm like, bro, like, all I want to do is go work out. That's it. That's all I want to do.
That's all I want to do. That is true. We did do you a disservice.
Like, I've never done any of that. Never, like, nothing.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Just because you don't want to have any fun doesn't mean we didn't.
Well, I'll only do like 3 things. That's baseball, gym, school.
Okay, and that's good. I wish I was as disciplined as you are at 16. I really do, because I would have saved myself from a lot of trouble. Yeah, a lot of trouble. And a lot of lies. So I wish I was more like you, but I'm not. So I am, though. I will say I am really proud of you and how disciplined you are. And how you just keep your head on straight, keep looking forward. And
I texted you this morning. I was up at 6.
Yeah, why?
Because I go to the gym at 7:30 and then I go at 5:30.
What? Why do you go twice?
What else am I going to do?
Okay. Then there's that.
Nothing else to do.
I will say, Grayson, he's like a freak of nature. I do. I love him to death. And your philosophy on life, I love, because it's very mature for a 16-year-old. You are very educated in the things that you speak about. You do your research. And he told me a few weeks ago, he was like, Sass, can't I just like get my real estate license and contractor's license and just go and work with you?
Yeah, because I don't feel the need. Like, all college does is build you into a financial hole. For the rest of your life. Okay. It digs you into a financial hole for the rest of your life. You got to fight to get out of, and you never make any progress ever.
Okay, well then.
So why would I do that? Just to like stay in the rat race? Like, yeah. Why do I want to do that?
And it's hard for me to fight with that because you are right. Depending on what colleges you go to.
I feel like unless you want to be a lawyer, an engineer, a doctor, or a chemist, you don't need to go to college.
And then there's that.
It doesn't make any sense.
And I do agree with you to a certain extent. Because I will say, this is coming from someone who has done a little bit of college.
I understand why you're going back, but I don't want to do what you want to do. So there's no need for me.
I know. But let me finish. Hold on. What I'm saying is, depending on what colleges you go to, if you're not going to an in-state, you don't have scholarships, then you're paying a hefty amount of money. For me, like going to Belmont, I want to say it's like 50, 60,000 a year. Like it's crazy. Yeah. And so having to pay that, I mean, that's a salary.
You just led straight.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So you do have a very valid point with that. And in the times that we're living in, a college degree is not always necessary.
I don't feel like I need a piece of paper to tell me I'm good enough. Like, I feel like that's what a lot of people want. A lot of people get that piece of paper and like, oh, I'm good enough now. No, you're not. I
love that, actually. I don't need a piece of paper to tell me I'm good enough.
A lot of the richest men in the world dropped out of college.
But you also have to realize that's a very small percentage of people. So for me, for college, the reason I hope to eventually finish one day is just to say that I've done it. That's
one thing I don't need. Like, I could care less if I finished it. I don't care.
But I think it's because you're saying that from the viewpoint of a 16-year-old who don't want to go to college.
No, but I don't think like a 16-year-old. Like, I do not see any advantage to going to college other than being able to say, yeah, I went to college.
Well, yeah. Well, what are you wanting to do?
Not that.
Well, what are you wanting to do as an adult?
I want to be a developer.
Okay, so you want...
Don't need college for that.
Okay,
get my contract license, real estate license. I want to do a lot of things, Savannah.
Okay, so that's one. That's a potential.
I'm going to be a bodybuilder.
Okay, we're not doing that for you to look like a...
I do. I want to.
Grayson, for you to look like a dang Ninja Turtle.
I want to so bad. You have no idea.
Like, no. Like, for you to look like a Ninja Turtle, like, oh, my head's going to pop out of my shell. Like, no.
So you have no idea, like, when you go to a gym... and you have a tank top on, but you have a sweatshirt on over, and you take it off, and people stop what they're doing. Like, there's no better feeling.
Grayson, people are not gonna stop what they're doing.
No, they do. My trainer, Bo, he's massive.
Yeah.
When we're in the gym working out together, and he takes his sweatshirt off, people stop what they're doing and look at him.
Okay, well, Grayson, that's not attractive. Let me just tell you, from a female's point of view. I don't care
what's attractive. I don't care about other people's opinion. We've already been through this. I could care less.
Okay, well, I need your hostility to come down a few notches.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I could care less about what other people think.
Could we... Okay, so between developer and bodybuilder, I'm going with developer.
I could be both.
What's your next option?
That's about it.
What about baseball?
Yeah, I mean, but I'd have to go to college for that.
Okay, so if
I get a scholarship, I will. If I don't, I'm not going.
So, like,
I've already made that clear with mom and dad.
Oh dear God! So, if you can go to college and play baseball, you'll go to college.
If I get a scholarship, I'll go. But I'm not just going for the fun of it. Like,
Lord help me, please.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
This kid's already got his mind made up.
I'm surrounded by successful people that didn't go to college. How are you going to tell me to go to college?
Okay, well, because I just want you to go, okay?
But are the successful people around me, did they go to college? Answer yes or no.
No.
Exactly. So how is dad and mom, as successful people, going to tell me to go to college? Look, do either of them have a college degree?
No.
Did any of them try to go?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to hope. I'm just going to hope and pray that you've got a change of heart when it comes to that.
Steve Jobs dropped out.
So now you're just going to give me stats on all these people who dropped out of college?
Elon Musk.
Grayson, I cannot. What happened to you, like, potentially wanting to be, I don't know, like a broadcaster, sports, news, whatever it may be?
That's really cool, but like... This is going to sound bad, but I've always like gone out somewhere and people are like, hey, can I take a picture? You know how cool it would be to make a bunch of money and nobody know who you are? You make a bunch of money, you get to go out and eat and like not worry about anybody coming up to you.
That's a really fair point. Because you don't remember life before the show, do you?
No.
Because you were
when I was 6.
6, yeah. So started when you were 6 years old, so you really don't know life before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's the hard part, is I do get that. It would be great to be so successful and no one know who you are. But then there's part of me that's like, the influence that you could have is also great. So
imagine if you have a bunch of money and like nobody knows you have a bunch of money. Nobody knows who you are.
Yeah. I mean, that would be great. Just remember who your sister is.
I mean, nobody's asking you for something.
Just remember who your sister is so you can take care of me. That would be great. I would always take care of you.
I know.
That is really... Okay, so because you've grown up in the public eye, you really want to shy away from it.
Yeah.
Well, I just think I love when you start talking about things you're really passionate about, though. Like, I feel like you would do a really good job being something in the public eye, like a commentator of some sort.
I mean, if it happens, it happens, but I'm not like going to go out of my way to do it.
I love the honest answers.
If something comes up where I do it, then cool. But like, I'm not going to go out of my way to, like, I'm not going to go to college for broadcasting.
Okay. Well, then that's your choice, Gray. I mean, I can't force you to do anything. I'm just going to tell you, hey, you should probably do this. And if you don't, well, it's on you.
Exactly.
Okay. Well.
So I told Dad, Mom, it's more Mom than Dad. Dad told me school teaches you everything you don't.
Why is your
alarm? That was for the class that I'm not going to be in because of you.
Okay, that's not true. Grayson, that was a 30-minute warning for your class. You're fine.
But
why are you going to miss it for me?
Because you were late. Okay. You were supposed to be here at 2:30 and you got here at 3.
Okay, well, some things came up.
Okay. But what I was saying is Dad told me that school teaches you everything you don't need to know, but everything you need to rationalize.
Say that again.
School teaches you everything you don't need to know, but everything you need to rationalize.
Okay.
Like, when am I going to use, like, solve this by substitution? I'm not. Like,
but you kind of are in life.
In daily life, how am I going to when am I going to solve an equation using substitution?
Well,
nobody's going to sit a piece of paper in front of me. That's not the same thing, man. Nobody's going to sit a piece of paper in front of me and be like, solve this problem. Nobody's going to do that.
Okay, you're correct. I mean, I am with you.
If it's a real life problem, I can solve it. But they don't teach you anything you actually need to know.
They should teach you, like, how to write a check or how to pay your bills.
Stuff about stocks and stuff like that. They should teach you that.
They should teach you what?
Stuff about stocks and stuff like that.
See, that's the thing. You love that. Like,
why do I need to know how to solve? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
But still, if you want to go work on Wall Street, you got to go to college.
What am I going to use about Greek mythology? Nothing.
Okay, I get that. I get that. But if you want to go work on Wall Street, you got to go to college.
I'd rather sit at home and do it.
Oh, dear God. Lord, help me.
It's just none of the stuff they teach you you're ever going to use.
Okay, so I think what we've gathered from this podcast today is that you, Grayson Chrisley, are most likely not going to go to college unless you get a scholarship to play baseball.
Yeah, more than likely.
Okay.
I feel like it's just a system that, like, I don't know. It's just like a messed up system that everybody has to go to college.
Well,
that's the way. Never mind.
No, I get what you're saying. I guess that's how you view it.
That's the way the government makes money. So they encourage people to go to college. So when they encourage people to go to college, that's what everybody does. That's why it's called the rat race, Savannah. Everybody in the country's encouraged to go to college. You know why? Because it's a federal stream. That's an income for the government. So of course they're going to have people convince you to go to college.
Okay. Well, yeah. What you just said. When I said,
they don't want people to deviate from what they have in place. Well, you know why the school board was created?
No.
Because he said he wanted people that could work for him, the guy that created it. So
where did you learn
the government's training a bunch of people to work for them. They don't want people to have people like they hate people like Elon Musk and stuff like that. Because they don't work for anybody.
I just want to know where this information came about the school board being created.
Google it. It's true.
Unlocked with Savannah Chrisley is sponsored by BetterHelp. This holiday season, do something special for a person in your life. You. Give yourself a gift to raise your spirits and not just for the day. The holidays can be a really, really tough time between managing family dynamics, racing from thing to thing, braving the cold and dark weather, and sometimes it's filled with grief. So it's normal to feel down. Having someone to talk to about how you're feeling and what you can do about it truly is a gift. Coming from someone who has a therapist, it has taught me so much. I'm learning coping skills, how to set healthy boundaries, self-empowerment, and dealing with so much trauma. So I encourage you to give yourself the gift of BetterHelp. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists, 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. And if things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist at any time. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/Savannah. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Savannah, SAVANNAH, BetterHelp. Once again, you have the most random knowledge out of any human being I know.
It's the truth. All you have to do is think about it. Imagine how much money the government makes off of people going to college.
Yes, because they don't want people in control. They want to control everything.
They encourage it because they want to control everybody. Mm-hmm. They don't want anybody to be in control of their own lives.
No, you're right. The government wants to be in total control. So what you're saying is you just want to be able to be in control of your own life.
Yeah, and that's why I said it's a rat race. Everybody for years has followed down the same path.
Mm-hmm. And too, there's something to be said.
I'm not saying anything's wrong with living a normal life, working your job. If you like it, you like it.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to do.
Yeah. And there's something to be said for taking a different route, to trying something new, to not being a follower.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can be a leader, and hey, to each their own. If that works for you, then great. And I'm excited to watch that process because I do believe that you don't get anywhere in life by playing it safe. You've got to take risks, and sometimes it's not going to work out. You're going to fall. You're going to have to start over, but that's part of it. So I do, though. I love your philosophy on everything. I really do. Now, sometimes you get a little carried away, but it's okay. You're learning to have a voice, which is really hard because with our life and growing up on TV, your voice has kind of been stifled. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So like you felt like you haven't been able to voice your opinions or how you feel because clearly cancel culture, as I've spoken about before.
Yeah.
You have to
watch what you say.
Watch what you say. Yeah. Which is really difficult.
If people don't like your opinion, they have a different opinion than you, it's cancel.
Yeah. Which is sad. And I spoke about that on a previous episode because we're all different. And that's the point of, too, my podcast when I start having guests on that are different, that are, really cool people that have difference in opinions politically, religiously, like whatever it may be. But we can learn and grow from that person. Just because you believe differently, maybe we can understand why they believe what they believe.
Exactly. If you can actually sit down and have a conversation about each other's opinions. But the issue is now people don't want to sit down and have a conversation about your opinion. If you don't agree with them, then you're wrong.
And that's really hard, because I will say there have been times where I've been guilty of that myself. But at the place I'm at in my life now, and what I encourage anyone listening, if you're challenged with this and you don't want to sit and have a conversation with someone who may be different or who has a difference in opinions, give it a shot. Sit and listen to understand and not listen to respond.
I'll sit and listen to whatever you want to tell me, and then I'll tell you what's wrong with what you just said.
No, I think that's not the best viewpoint. Not what's wrong.
If you're not what's wrong, but if you don't know what you're talking about, and then you try to push that on somebody else, like.
But you have to be more sensitive as well to that.
What am I to not tell you if you're wrong? Because then you're going to go say it to somebody else.
But who are you to say that you're right?
So I'm talking about like in general.
Yeah, if you're talking factual.
Let's say if you get in a, let's say, political conversation, doesn't matter which side you're on, you get a political conversation and you try to throw facts out there that's not real.
So you're
then you're just going to say it to somebody else and look stupid.
I get that. Calm down. I'm saying to you is you're right. You're talking about factual evidence.
Yeah, that's one thing I can't stand though. I can't like have a conversation with somebody that knows nothing about what they're trying to have a conversation about.
Yes, I know. So let me get to where I'm going. You were talking about factual evidence. But when it comes to a conversation about feeling and why I feel a certain way,
you need to hear the other person out.
You can hear the other person out. The other person is not wrong, and it's not our position to say, hey, you're wrong for believing this, because everyone believes what they believe for a certain reason.
Everybody's different.
Yeah, everyone's different. Everyone has a different upbringing. If you have abuse or poverty or just trauma that happens as a child, that's going to change your viewpoint on a lot of things. So it makes you different. It makes your story unique, and it doesn't make yours right, mine wrong, mine right, yours wrong. And that's where I think we all need to have more of an open conversation about it. And that's what I'm excited too for my podcast. I'm going to have people from all different walks of life on my podcast. But I want to tell you someone that I met last night who has a podcast, and we may end up doing a little like cross episode. He's an old football player. He may kill me for saying that, but he himself said he was old. Neil O'Donnell.
I don't know.
So he was like he was like a big quarterback. Hold on. So he is an American former football quarterback who played in the NFL for 14 seasons. He played college football at Maryland and was selected by the Steelers. He received Pro Bowl honors, led him to the Super Bowl, played for the Jets, the Bengals, and played for the Titans from 99 to 03.
That was before I was born.
Yeah, that was before you were born. But you normally know a lot of these facts.
I did.
But so, he's got a podcast, but also he's dealt with some cancel culture stuff. And we were sitting in a restaurant last night. Y'all know I've talked about one of my favorite little spots here in Nashville that I go to. And me and Chad were sitting there, and this guy is with a group of like two other guys at a table, and we knew one of the guys. And then someone came up and asked this football player for a photo. And I was like, who is that? Come to find out, it's Neil O'Donnell. And he starts talking about his life, and Chad's there. Chad, openly gay. We all know that. And Neil was talking about how he dealt with some of this cancel culture stuff with his podcast and how it was a really tough go. But he then proceeded to tell us his life story. He's the baby of 9. His oldest brother had special needs, and he was just telling us his whole life story, how his family's been affected by the system, I got to know who he was and his heart. And he spent time talking to Chad and was like, hey, can you help me to understand this? Because people who are not clear with, people who maybe and two, back in that day and time.
There's a difference in time.
There's a difference in time. So he not that he's not comfortable with.
But when you grow up, like,
yeah,
it wasn't really accepted then.
Yeah, he grew up differently and in a time to where it wasn't accepted. So it's not that he doesn't accept it, because he does. And
you're just a product of your environment.
You're a product of your environment. And I think we hold people accountable for being a product of their environment when they had no other choice. That was the environment they were given. They didn't get to choose it. And sitting there talking to Neil last night and listening to him talk to Chad and how they had an open conversation, an honest conversation. Neil was asking Chad questions to try to help to better understand who Chad is as a person and how he can better communicate in situations and, to help to understand the gay community. And it was really cool to sit and listen to that and hear someone who's open to learning and wants to be better, wants to do better, and wants to know people from different walks of life. And I just thought it was a really cool thing to experience. And I think we need more people like that. Like less closed. We have too many people that are closed-minded.
Yeah.
When if we would just be open-minded to things and have understanding and understand that people are the way they are for certain reasons, life would be so much better. Like so much better.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I thought maybe you would know who the football player was, but I guess not. But like you said, it's before you were born. You were born in what?
06.
06? Oh, yeah. So he quit playing 3 years before you were born. But I just, Grayson, as I said, y'all, when it comes to sports, he knows all the stats, knows all the things you need to know. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I do want to jump back and talk about how we spoke about how you grew up on the show. And what was life like for you as a kid? Like, what do you remember? Because you were 6, I was 15, Chase 16. So we knew our life before the show.
I don't know anything different.
Like, what do you ever remember thinking as a kid? Because you had a job.
No, I mean, I didn't really understand what was going on, but I was like, I have to do it. I don't have a choice. So like,
I have to do it. But there was also, I think you had fun with it in the early days.
I feel like I had fun with it because I didn't understand it. And the older I got, it was more like,
it was a job.
Oh, I got to do this.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, as I remember you as a little kid, you did have a lot of fun with it. And you thought, like, I
thought it was cool, but the cool wears off after a little bit.
Yeah, the cool wears off when it's like I've said about anything. Even professional athletes you'll speak to.
It's as cool as what people think it is.
No, it's definitely not as cool as what people think it is. And like I was saying,
you think it's cool until you get it.
Yeah. Like, I'll speak to professional athletes and they'll say, obviously at one point in time, they loved what they were doing. Like, it was their pride and joy. But anytime money gets involved in a passion or in something you love, then it turns to a job.
Like Hayden Hurst, he's a tight end for the Bengals. They said last year when he played with Atlanta, he didn't love football anymore. He wanted to quit.
And what was his reason?
And then when he just didn't love it.
Yeah.
He didn't want to play anymore. And whenever you stop loving it, you're not going to play as good.
Yeah, that is so true.
Because then you look forward, I have to go.
Yeah. But I also think, too, that's the hard part, is it's easy for people to say those things, right? When they are financially secure. Like, when you're financially well off, then you can say, oh, I don't want to do it anymore.
And some people, that's their only option.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying.
Their only way to make a life for themselves is sports.
Yeah. Sports or in an everyday life. I literally had this conversation with someone the other day. I said, an issue right now that we're having in the workforce is we don't have enough people that are willing to go out here and work. But because there's been this whole thing preached to society, love what you do. Love what you do. And I
Sometimes
agree.
you don't have a choice to sometimes you got to do something you don't love for a little bit to get to what you do love.
Exactly. And I think that's what...
I feel that's the issue with a lot of people.
A lot of people don't have a choice, and we're not always going to love what we do. Like, we're just not going to. So, like, you have to do what's going to pay the bills.
Your mom and dad always asked me, do you still love baseball? If I didn't love it, I wouldn't show up.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
if
I didn't want to, I wouldn't go.
Yeah. And...
I know a lot of kids that play because their dad's trying to do it through them.
Yeah.
I know a lot of kids that are like that because their dad didn't make it. They want, like, they're living through their kid. And that makes them not want to play.
Yeah.
I feel like a part of me is happy that dad doesn't care about it because
you don't feel a need to impress or perform, or you're just doing it because
like it makes me play better.
Yeah. And I agree with that because I feel like when you're playing just for the praise of a parent or someone else, then it takes away all the intentionality of the whole thing. And I don't know. I think, too, when it comes to the show, do you think that I've loved getting up every day filming?
No,
you know.
We were talking about product of your environment. Some kids, even during games and tournaments, hear stuff that they hear their parents say at home, and they'll say it to me. Mm-hmm. But the only issue is I'm not good at turning the other cheek.
I know, and that's the hardest part because what you're referring to is all the stuff that people see in the press.
They'll say something, I'll strike them out, and I'll stare them down the entire time they're walking to the dugout, or I'll say something, or I'm just not good at turning the other cheek.
And you don't always have to, because you don't have to take the disrespect, the hateful words.
And Mama tells me turn the other cheek. I said, you don't understand how it is to be on playing a sport. And they say something that has nothing to do with that sport. Yeah. You see, you don't understand. Like, you're in the moment and you're like...
And two, you don't always have to turn the other cheek because unfortunately, and I hope that parents that are listening to this, parents, adults that are listening to this right now, hear, because for me, as Gray's sister, like, I hear the hurt in his voice when he says that.
I've had so many times where I'm pitching and they'll yell on the mound, go back to Hollywood.
Yeah.
I struck him out and I looked back and said, I will, but I had to take a detour for people like you.
See, and I love that because you find a way to get out your frustration. But I really do hope that the parents listening or anyone who helps to navigate younger children know what you're saying and know what they're listening to because they're going to repeat what they learn at home.
I've been hit in games because of who I was.
Yeah.
Like, they've hit me on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, one team said they were going to, and they hit me in the head on the first pitch.
Yeah. And it's just awful. It's just awful that kids are taught that this behavior is okay. Because I will tell you, even as your sister, if I saw you treating someone that way, like out on a baseball
You'd get
field.
on to me.
Oh, I wouldn't only get on to you. Your ass would be headed home.
I'm not saying I never throw it close because they say something, but you throw it by their face. Well, you don't hit them in the face. You throw it by their face one good time and...
Grayson... But you're not out here saying hurtful things to kids.
But one game we played, you were at the game for a little bit, and the thing got too hot and you left.
Y'all, I really hope my kids don't do outdoor sports.
But they were talking before the game, and they said they were going to hit me, and they hit me 3 times in a row and never hit anybody else on the team, and then talked after the game, and we beat them.
Yeah. And see, and that's just...
And even the coaches were talking.
Yeah.
Like grown men.
Yeah, and that's not okay because we don't have the right to complain about where generations are going if we're not going to do anything to help the generation below us. And by parents going out here talking crap about a kid and what they come from in their life and whatever it may be, that's not helping children to grow into good, decent, honorable human beings. It's not doing it. And because parents are raising their children to hear things like that and teach them that it's okay to say hurtful things. We now have a 16-year-old that's sitting here that has hurt because of it. And you're really good at shutting down, closing it off, not going to speak about it. I'm not going to say when someone hurts me. And you have to be better at
I don't like talking about it.
I know, but that's why you're in therapy. It
helps me get over it more.
No, it doesn't help you.
I barely even talk to them.
Listen, it doesn't help you get over it. It just helps you to not address it. You're burying it deep down, and that doesn't help you. You and I, when I was your age and I was younger, I did the exact same thing. I did not talk about anything. Dad forced me to talk about everything. And I would sit there in silence. I was hard-headed as heck. Like, I wasn't going to speak about it. And I realized that was only at my detriment. Because then you become an adult and you realize that you are so emotionally detached that you can't have a healthy relationship. Whether it's friendship, siblings, romantically, it's not healthy. So as your sister, I hope that because now you are gifted with being able to have a therapist.
It's just with stuff in our life. We've had instances where you trusted somebody.
Yeah.
And you saw what happened.
Yeah. For years, we've all heard about AdvoCare. And AdvoCare is very well known for their AdvoCare Spark, which enhances mental focus, contains amino acids, 20 vitamins and minerals, an effective amount of caffeine, all while being sugar-free. It also comes in 14 flavors. A lot of questions that people ask are, what's it sweetened with? How much caffeine is there? When would I use it? Well, it's sweetened with sucralose. And how much caffeine? 120 milligrams, which is equivalent to a small cup of coffee. And we recommend that you use it at least 15 to 30 minutes prior to activity or any time you feel a need. All you need is an 8-ounce bottle of water and 1 stick of Spark, and you're good to go. AdvoCare also has Rehydrate, electrolyte drink mix. 1-to-1 sodium to potassium ratio. It helps the body to stay hydrated during activity, helps prevent cramping, fuels the body with carbohydrates for energy and endurance. It also has 1/3 of the sugar of most major brands. It contains amino acids and vitamins and minerals. It has a total of 6 grams of sugar, and it's great to use during and after activity, but may also be used before if you know it will be a long, hard session. Again, mix this with 12 ounces of water. Go Me's. Go Me's are great tasting, easy to take, and only 15 calories per serving. Go Me's multivitamin gummies are an excellent source of 10 essential vitamins and minerals. These gummies include a powerful blend of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, including vitamins A, C, and E. They also include biotin, B12, folic acid, and zinc. Go Me's also have collagen gummies, which are formulated with antioxidant vitamins C and E to support healthy skin. And they also have Go Me's elderberry gummies to help nourish a healthy immune system with vitamin C and zinc. So there you have it. That's AdvoCare. Now let's try to unlock your healthiest self by using AdvoCare's products. I know it's hard to trust people when you've had people that you've trusted that then end up hurting you. It's really hard. Life is full of that. I've had friends. I've had acquaintances. I've had people that I've trusted turn around and hurt me.
And only a certain people like to see you succeed. And people will say they like to see you succeed, but they also wish they had what you had.
Yeah. And people just love to build you up to tear you down. But I will say...
That's why I don't tell nobody what I'm doing or anything.
But Gray, I will say the best part about having a therapist is they are paid. And by law, they can't repeat
That's my issue, though, is that I don't want to talk to you because you're paid to talk to me. Like, that's...
But Grayson, that's what it is. That's what a therapist is.
You're paid to talk to me, so I'm not...
But they're going to give you the right advice. They're going to help you talk through it. Don't be one of these anti-therapists.
I'm not anti, but you're paid to talk to me whether you want to or not. So
yeah. So therefore, they're even more engulfed in your life because you being better and doing better and seeing a positive change in your life affects their checkbook. So if you're not seeing a positive change, then you're going to stop paying them.
No, it's actually the complete opposite. If you don't see a positive change, you're going to keep talking to them. If you get better, you're going to think, oh, maybe I don't need this anymore.
No, or you're going to view it as this is the reason I got better. I'm still going to suffer through trials.
It might help, but just talking to somebody is not going to be the reason you get better. It might help.
God and a therapist are the two greatest things.
I agree with the first one. I don't agree with the second one.
Okay, well, you will get to a place. And too, a lot of your viewpoints right now, too, come from a place of hurt. See, they do. Because I know you. And a lot of your jadedness just comes from a place of hurt. And when you allow that hurt to run through you, then you'll be able to come out on the other side and work through it. Because trust me, I will say, there is something I want to address. I did come on my podcast a few weeks ago and semi-bashed someone. Now, after sitting on it, I could have been kinder. I could have told my story while not trying to jab at someone. But, hey, ego, pride, all those things were out the roof. And I was hell-bent on, I'm going to out this person. And because of that, I know I've definitely hurt people in the process. And that was never my intention. But I was coming from a place of hurt.
I know that was never your intentions. But see, that's like, I don't know if it's just me, but I would have not cared.
What do you mean?
If you had done that to me and I was in their shoes, I wouldn't have cared. I would have been like, she is so petty and still thinking about me that she's going to do this. So that's how I know you got control over.
But that's where you're more mature than me.
If they will go on a podcast and talk about you, then you don't need to worry about your place with them. Because they're obviously thinking about you enough to talk about you on a podcast. So then I wouldn't have said anything.
Could you calm it down? You don't need to out me.
I'm not aggressive. I'm just saying, like, so that was one of the more childish things you've ever done. Okay.
Well,
I'm just saying, like, I would have just completely cut the person off. Like, if I were you.
Okay. Well, you know what, Grayson? Looking back, I should have. I
don't care who you're with. I could honestly care less. But, I mean, if you're happy, then I don't care. Like, I honestly don't care who it is.
Okay. Well, I love you for that because you're my brother and you're supposed to feel that way. So you're supposed to support me. But you also just really humbled me and made me realize how immature I can be at times. So thank you.
I'm just saying sometimes sit and think before you do something.
And that's where I went wrong. I didn't think. I was speaking out of a place of hurt and anger. And
sometimes that gets the better of everybody.
And I was also speaking from a place of, as when I started this podcast, I said, I'm not going to do it all right. It's going to be a difficult thing for me to navigate. In our whole life, we never got to
mess up.
We never got to mess up because we're on TV. We're growing up in front of the public eye. But we also never got to truly state our opinions and beliefs or our truth. Other people got to state our truths. And so I think I got so wrapped up in that I was just like hell-bent.
And I don't feel like all of it's on you. Sometimes that other person needs to think, maybe you brought this on yourself. Maybe some of the decisions that you've made have brought this on yourself.
Well, then there's...
One thing I don't agree with is there always being a third party.
What do you mean?
If you're going to have a conversation with somebody in a relationship, it needs to be you and the other person. It doesn't need to go from here to here to here.
Well, yeah.
It needs to go from here.
Yeah.
Not
And that, again,
it's like a triangle and that never ends well.
Your maturity is showing, because that is true. We get so engulfed in having...
Because we can forgive better than other people can. We can forgive, but some people won't forget.
Yes. And that's the thing, is you can't bring a third party into your relationship, whether it's a parent,
a friend, anybody.
A sibling, anyone.
If there's something wrong, nobody else needs to know other than you and the other person.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you 100% on that.
And I love how close our family is, but there's no reason that everybody else should know when something else is wrong. With everybody in the family. If it's something with you, if it's something with Chase, nobody else should know what's wrong in that than you two.
But see, that's what I love about you, because I will say, I truly do believe that I can trust you with anything.
Because I'll be asked my opinion about stuff that like you and Chase, or you and whoever, and
whoever,
Chase and Emmy, and I'll be like, I don't care. Like it does not affect me anyway.
Yeah.
Like I don't need to know. What am I going to do about it?
Yeah. But
like,
see,
would you expect me to sit down and talk with them?
But that's why I love you, because
like that's why I don't want y'all to tell me anything like that. Cause like, what am I going to do about it?
Okay, but
I get if you want to vent to me, but like,
you mind your own business and you stick to yourself, which I love. But I can also tell you anything, and like you're a vault. Yeah. Like you're going to ride till the end.
It's like, what does it do for me if I just go and like tell everything you tell me? It doesn't do anything.
No,
like,
no, it really doesn't. But
I don't understand people that do that. Like,
yeah, I've been
I don't like childish games. Like
I said, you are more mature than me in certain areas.
No, I'm not saying you do it. I'm just saying like...
No, but I'm saying I do it.
If somebody's like... like, if you're pissed off, say why you're pissed off.
Yeah.
There's no need to act like a child and their father or mom and being like, oh, I'm mad at you. But you don't say why.
Well, that
doesn't make sense to me.
That's like gaslighting and manipulative behavior.
Because it's like you're trying to think of ways to be pissed off while you're saying you're mad. Because you don't have a reason.
And you're trying to punish someone for something by saying, oh, I'm mad at you, but I'm not going to tell you why I'm mad at you.
Exactly, because you don't have a reason. Yeah. Is my thing, is you don't have a reason. Because if you were really pissed off, you would say why. Mm-hmm. Because when you get mad and you, like, it's stuff Dad will say. Dad'll be pissed off, but he'll have no reason. He just decides to be that day. And it's what you got to know, because people outside of our family won't know that.
But you also have handled him better than any of us ever have. And you have helped to change
he wants a response.
But you have helped to change how he navigates things, because he was mad at you, and Dad likes to sit in his anger sometimes. And you went into his room.
I told him he's acting like a child.
Yeah, you went into his room and said, Dad, you have gone X amount of hours without talking to me.
I told him, I said, when you are a grown man and walk into a room and purposely avoid your child because you're pissed off over something is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. I said, this is so flipped. And I think he respected me for saying this. I said, you're acting like the child. I said, when I go out of my way to try to talk to you when I know you're mad and then you avoid it, that's like something Chloe would do.
Yeah. But he did respect that. He respected that and said, you're right. You know, like I shouldn't do that. I think he allowed his hurt and anger to take over. And I think it doesn't matter how old we get, we're always going to be the children of our parents.
It doesn't do anybody any good to just sit and be mad and won't say why you're mad. Because if you don't say why you're mad, you can't talk it out.
Exactly. But where I'm going with my thought process is we're always going to be the children of our parents. But we also have to learn that just because our parents are our parents, it doesn't make them superheroes. It doesn't mean that they're going to do everything 110% correct. Mm-hmm. They're going to mess up.
Your parents are still people.
Yeah, they're still people. They're not superheroes. And they make mistakes. And they learn from them just as we do. And I think that's where, because I went through a point in my life.
Your parents are the same people as you. They just have seen more because they've been alive longer.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I went through a point in my life to where I thought my parents are superheroes.
And parents don't like to admit when they're wrong.
No, but no one likes to admit when they're wrong.
Nobody likes to.
I don't like to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm not a parent. Thank God.
Sometimes I will, but It's rare.
Yeah, it's rare.
When I am.
Because you're going to try to make someone believe you're right, even if you're wrong.
It's rare when I am.
Grayson, stop with the arrogance.
It's not arrogance, man. It's just
arrogance. No. Nope.
When I have conversations with you, do I say much? I just sit there and listen.
You listen a lot.
So if I sit there and listen to everything and I'm just repeating what you said, how can I be wrong?
You are the biggest smart ass
I'm just saying,
any of us.
When you're telling me the facts and I repeated the facts,
how
am I wrong?
Okay, you're right. You're right.
See?
You're right.
See what she said?
Grayson, see? Oh gosh.
So I'm like everybody. Everybody loves to be right.
How we love a 16-year-old. How we love them. I will say though, I am really proud of you and who you're becoming. Yes, you can be a little cocky and arrogant, but hey, it's part of being 16.
It's everybody.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I let my cockiness and arrogance get in the way, and I said some things on a past podcast that I wish I maybe wouldn't have, or I wish I would have said it differently. So for that, I'm learning. This is my public apology for those things that I've said, and I should have said them differently. Now, I'm still not going to run away if you screw me over. I mean, I'm going to tell the truth, but if it's going to hurt more than it's going to help, why do it?
Do you feel like some people are a little too sensitive with the line between confidence and cocky?
Ooh. Yes.
Like some people are like, oh, you're being cocky, when they wish they had that confidence that you had.
I do, yes, to an extent, but I also think what you're going to have to learn, because the message that you have to say is it's pretty spot on.
I feel like people talk about athletes a lot, but here's the thing.
But tone of voice. Your tone of voice is cocky.
But if you're the best in your sport and people know you're the best, how are you going to get mad at somebody for that?
But there's a difference.
It's a jealousy thing.
No. What you're saying, there's a difference. If everybody knows you're the best at it, then why do you have to act like you're the best at it?
For example, Tom Brady, 6 Super Bowl rings. He's been to 10 Super Bowls. He's won 6 of them.
I'm so tired of hearing about this Tom Brady guy.
Savannah, he's the greatest football player of all time. But when he walks onto a field, people say he acts cocky. When you're that good.
No, if you're that good, let your talent speak for itself.
I don't think you understand how hard it is to win 1, let alone 6.
Okay, well, Grayson, when you're that good, let your talent speak for itself. It makes your talent
to a certain extent, but if people like say that you're not, and you say and you defend yourself, people say that you're cocky. There's a fine line between cocky and confidence.
There is, and sometimes in that situation, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Would you rather me think I'm not good at anything and just like doubt myself all the time?
No, I love the confidence. I don't like a cocky tone.
I'm too competitive.
You are competitive.
I have to be the best at everything.
Well, Gray, I love you, but you're going to realize that you're not going to be the best at everything.
I get that, but I don't think you should live for second place. Second place is first loser.
I don't want you to be that hard on yourself, because I have been in a place of being that hard on yourself, and it will literally run you to the point of exhaustion and feeling like you are never good enough if you're not number one.
I mean, Savannah, like Ricky Bobby said, there ain't nothing wrong with silver, but it's not my first choice. You, again, like Ricky Bobby, like what? Will Ferrell, Savannah. Talladega Nights.
The most random things, kid. The most random things. You have helped to expand my knowledge on the school board today. This Tom Brady guy with apparently 6 Super Bowls.
He's won more Super Bowls than any franchise in its history.
Okay.
One man has won more Super Bowls than he's one of the only quarterbacks to go to a team that was awful, and in his first year there, won a Super Bowl.
That seems a bit extraordinary.
That's how you know that it's him.
Okay, well, way to go.
There was a debate that it was Tom Brady or was Belichick making Tom Brady the coach. Brady left with a whole different coach and won a Super Bowl just so he could prove that he was making himself.
Well, way to go, Tom Brady.
Greatest quarterback of all time.
Again, Grayson, with all his knowledge and facts, as I said, he's taught me about the school board. Tom Brady. What else did we talk about today?
A lot of stuff.
We talked about a lot of stuff. Life, he called me out for being, what was your exact wording?
Petty.
Petty, yeah.
I do petty stuff too.
Petty party of one. Table is now available.
You ever post stuff on your story purposely so people will see it?
All the time. All the time. Dude, and too, my thing is, if the shoe fits, wear it. Like, if you feel that it's about you, I didn't tag you.
You ever go out of the way to like text their friends just so you know that they'll know? Or is that just me?
No, I don't do that. Because when you become an adult and you start doing stuff like that, well, it comes to bite you in the butt.
That's just me.
Yeah, that's just you. I ain't texting nobody's friends. Because that gets messy. I ain't doing it. Nope. Not doing it. I do not advise that. No. Wow. Yeah, so this has been quite an interesting podcast. And for those of you that have watched the show, you've watched Gray grow up on TV, 6 years old, now 16. And I just want to say, as your sister, I'm so proud of you. And I love you. And I know you're severely late for your school class. Do not tell mom and dad I was late, please. But remember, like you said, you don't need to go to college. You'll be fine. No. But I love you. Thank you for coming on my podcast. And who knows, you may start one of your own.
Maybe one day. And
it may just be more political. If my sister
ever helps me get it.
Grayson, I will help you do it. We just have to come up with a game plan of what you want it to be about.
It's going to be political. So if you're soft, then don't watch my podcast. Simple. If your feelings get hurt easily, don't watch it.
Okay. Well, we're going to sit in this and ponder our thoughts.
I've already pondered my thoughts. My mind's made up.
Okay. Well, guys, that's just going to be a whole different platform. Then who knows? We'll see. But I will help you. As long as you are firm in your beliefs and in what you want to speak about, and you can be knowledgeable about them with facts to back it up, then that's on you. That's the podcast you want to do, then go for it. I'm your sister. I support you. And in order for me to support you, I don't have to believe everything that you say. I support you because I love you. So I love you and I'm so proud of you. Now go to school. Until next time, guys. I love you. And yeah.